Welcome to the Alcohol Free Life podcast. I'm Janey Grace. This is for you if you've quit the booze or you'd like to, or maybe you're just sober curious. I'll bring you tips and motivation without any judgment, and there'll be inspiration from experts, quit-lit authors, and sober heroes. Hi, this is Janey Grace. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you for being patient. Those of you who were kind of waiting for the podcast, which of course usually comes out on a Friday, but it's a couple of days late because I've been on holiday. But I still wanted to do a podcast this week. I thought about having a week off, and I thought, well, so much to say. So little time. So I've had a lovely week off, kind of, although it's been mad busy. I was hoping to kind of chill by a pool, but it didn't work out quite like that because I can't remember, the Monday or the Tuesday after I arrived on my holiday in Spain, my TED talk was released. So I don't get to choose. So TED.com release the talk whenever they choose. And so that's when it went live on YouTube. And so, of course, you really want to tell people about it and get as many views as possible. So I spent the next few days kind of sitting by a pool, desperately battling with Wi-Fi and poor connectivity, trying to encourage people to watch the TED Talk. So I'm super excited that it's out, and I'm proud of it. I think it's I'm really pleased that I kept it really simple. At the time when I wrote it, I thought, oh my goodness, am I kind of really stating the bleeding obvious here? But I think sometimes that has to be done. You have to really, just give a message that's relatable, even if, the same stuff has been said before. Of course it has. There's nothing new. But I think just how you put it together sometimes can make an impact. And I so hope that I will make an impact with this TED Talk. It's really important to me to get these messages across of, the fact that you do not have to be at rock bottom before you can hop off the booze elevator. You might be a grey area drinker. You might be just recognizing that your life might be better without alcohol, even though it isn't necessarily an issue for you. So it's the positive impact that I want to make, really. So thank you so much to everyone who has already viewed it. I've had thousands of views in just a few days. I'm really touched by the people who took the time to view it, to give it a like, because on YouTube it's a real faff, isn't it? You have to actually log in before you can like. So I so appreciate that. It makes a massive difference. It means that TED will promote it more, as well as it's a TEDx talk. It might get go up the ranks a little quicker if it gets some likes. So if you haven't yet, it's called Sobriety Rocks. Who knew? So if you go to YouTube and you type Janey Grace TEDx talk, or you can type Sobriety Rocks. Who knew? And thank you again to TEDx Norwich, who set it all up and gave me this amazing opportunity. I'm really grateful for it. It's a real thing doing a TEDx talk. There's no doubt about it. And anyone who's willing to share it with their tribe or their friends, I really appreciate it. And I think, let's hope that more and more of this stuff comes out. It really feels like we're in the middle of something, doesn't it? It feels like there's a change, a bit of a sea change, But having said that, then by the same token, when you step outside of this kind of world, you realise that actually everyone's still boozing. I've just been on holiday and, oh my goodness, just, I don't know, you just sit on a flight and the people order one gin and tonic after the other and it's everywhere. And you walk through the airport and there's massive signs everywhere for the duty-free booze. I had one very interesting moment where at the bar, I ordered a tonic water, and the guy obviously was so used to people ordering gin and tonic that the barman poured a big old slug of gin. Put the ice cubes into the glass and then poured a big old slug of gin into the glass. And I sort of held my hand up and said, no, just tonic, please. And he then, I couldn't actually believe it, he then kind of got this metal thing to hold on to the ice cubes, tipped the gin out of the glass, so literally disposed of the gin while holding on to the ice cubes, and then filled the glass up with tonic. I mean, how bizarre is that? And then handed me a glass of kind of, tonic water with gin flavoured ice cubes. Just bizarre. Anyways, there you go. So yeah, it's still everywhere, but bit by bit, maybe things are changing. We can hope. I'm sure many of you saw the study in the week. Yet another one of these absolutely bullshit studies about this. In this case, it was red wine is good for you, and they jumped on the gut bandwagon. Of course, everyone is talking about good gut health, and gut health is a thing. There's no doubt about it. It's one of the things that I talk about a lot. I'm really passionate about helping people recognise the importance of good gut health. But I thought it was, I don't know, a cheek actually to use that in their headline. The headline was something like "Red wine is beneficial for good gut bacteria," something like that. I haven't got the piece in front of me, but basically they actually published it in the Gastroenterology Journal on the BBC's website. It was published in most of the of the mainstream newspapers, and it went all around the world, of course, saying that red wine is good for the gut, for the healthy gut bacteria. Apparently, they did this study on twins, and they found that the twin who drank a moderate amount of red wine had more beneficial gut bacteria. Now, I mean, for goodness sake, for starters, it said it could be beneficial. They were very careful in their wording. It could be. Well, yeah, it could not be. It's an observational study. It was not saying red wine is good for you. And the really interesting thing was that they then quoted somewhere in one of the articles, versions of the article that I read, they said something like 1 or 2 glasses a fortnight. I mean, who drinks 1 or 2 glasses a fortnight? I'm guessing that what the study really showed was that if people are generally healthy and they've got good gut bacteria, and perhaps they're eating a healthy, good mix of variety of fruit and veg and nuts and seeds and legumes and all the rest of it, then they're going to be healthy despite their 2 glasses of red wine a fortnight, not because of it. But, the thing is with these stories, I know for a fact that when I was drinking, I would have just used this as to justify drinking. I absolutely would have jumped on the article. Of course, I wouldn't have read the small print that says, 1 or 2 glasses a fortnight or whatever it is could be beneficial. I would have jumped on this and just thought, there you go. You see, medical profession are saying it's good, must be fine. Off I go. Let's drink more and wake up feeling miserable again. And that's what really frustrates me. So you've got all these column inchers, all this airtime across the world's media, but who's talking about how harmful alcohol is? Who's actually talking about that? Nobody. It's a secret. It's actually a secret that, goodness knows how many million people are dying of alcohol-related problems. And anyway, don't get me started. I mean, I have a couple of stats in the TEDx talk that I mention, namely there are studies that when you look at alcohol, not just in terms of the harm it does to the individual, but the harm it does to others, to the economy, to society, to family members, the impact on the NHS and everything else. When you take into account all of these other factors, alcohol comes out top as the number 1 most harmful drug. Top. I mean, for goodness sake, how can we be wanging on about red wine being good for you? Anyways, there you go. So that's my little soapbox for today. I'm sure there'll be another study next week that says the same thing. I'm very excited to share with you that in addition to sitting by the pool, trying to promote my TEDx talk, and also working on my Platinum Awards, which are in a week or so, I've also been really busy jacking up some lovely content and experts for the Sober Club. It's an online community. It's going to launch, hopefully by the end of this week. The official launch, I'm just going to pop up and do a live stream at the event that's happening in London next Saturday. It's Sober Dave's event on Instagram, Sober Dave 1. And it's at the Jago, which is where we run our Self-Care for the Sober Curious events. It's Saturday afternoon. If you haven't got a ticket yet, there may still be some left. You'd have to go to Eventbrite, type Self-Care for the Sober Curious. And it's Sober Dave's Saturday afternoon social. And I'm just kind of popping up, really. It's not my event. I'm just popping up and helping out. And I'm going to take that opportunity to make that the official launch of the Sober Club, which is really exciting. Lots of people signed up to the waiting list, and I was going to put a really small, limited number on this, but there's a bunch of people on that waiting list, and anyone who is on that waiting list who wants to join when we open the doors, we're going to have a discounted rate, and anyone who wants to join at that discounted rate and become a founder member, you're welcome to come in, and you'll have that founder member price for as long as you want to remain in the Sober Club, and then we'll get it all rocking, and and we'll close the doors, as it were, get it all rocking before we allow any other members in later down the line. So we've got some fabulous stuff lined up in there, though I say so myself. It really is not just me. There's lots of access to me. I'm going to be doing regular monthly talks. I'm going to be doing live Q&As. There's going to be lots and lots of interaction. Got an exclusive Facebook group. But I've got some fantastic experts. I'm so touched that people are willing to come on board with this. I've got Janet Thompson, who's going to be our weight management expert. And there's nothing Janet doesn't know about just great nutrition and how you manage your weight is such a thing for people often when they've been drinking. They might be overweight, they might be underweight, but somehow weight nearly always comes into it. And Janet is an NLP practitioner, and she does EFT and TFT. She really brings the whole mindset into it all. So Janet's going to be an amazing expert for us. Also, Kira Jean Robertson, who was one of our podcast guests, is going to offer some naturopathy kind of tips and ideas as well. And then we've got Elsa Frank, who is a hypnotherapist, a clinical hypnotherapist. And in fact, we're going to kick off with some stuff with Elsa, because anyone who decides to join in this first intake as a founder member will also get a free hypnosis download, courtesy of Elsa Frank. So that's really cool. That's worth more than the cost of the membership for starters. So that's really good. And then, of course, William Porter, author of Alcohol Explained, is going to be with us right from the very beginning. We've got some exclusive content from William. You might have heard William is one of my podcast guests, and many of you will have read the book Alcohol Explained. But William's done some exclusive videos for us, which kick off in the first month, all about cravings. And of course, this applies whatever stage you're at. So it may be that you're in the early stages and you're getting cravings for alcohol, or it may be that you're several months or several years down the line and you get cravings for other things. You know, it's we all go through this from time to time. It might be sugar. That's a big one, of course. Might be smoking. Might be shopping. Who knows? But these triggers and cravings that can pop up for people, we're going to really dig deep into what that's all about. There is an online course included as part of it, a 90-day online course, and just masses of resources. And obviously, we want you to feel connected, and we want you to feel accountable and motivated. You know, that phrase that, again, I quoted in the TEDx talk, which of course has been said many times: the opposite of addiction is connection. And I think it's that keeping connected and just sharing how you're feeling. And this is not just for people who are just starting out. You're very welcome if you are. If you've made the decision that you're going to quit, you're very, very welcome. But it's also for people who are months down the line, perhaps even years, because as everything unravels, it's like that layers of an onion. As more and more things unravel, we start to think, wow, okay, now I really want to think about fitness or meditation, or I want to change careers, or I want to find, really find my purpose. And it really is this kind of holistic approach that I want to try and bring with the help of some great people. We're jacking up some great stuff. And that leads me beautifully to my guest for today, who is one of the experts who's going to work with us on the podcast. I've known for a long time that one of the things that comes up all of the time when people ditch the booze, whether right at the beginning or several years in, is the issue of relationships. And it's not an area that I'm an expert in at all. Of course, I've had to face my own stuff with friendships and family. So many people have issues with relationships. It can be so tricky to navigate. And we have got a fantastic relationships expert. So I thought I would introduce her to you on the podcast, as well as the fact that she's going to be in the Sober Club. So welcome, Haya. So I've been wanting to talk relationships for an awful long time on this podcast, but haven't really found the right person to have that discussion with. But now I have, and I'm so delighted that Haya is with us. Haya, I'm going to let you say your full name properly so that I don't get it wrong. And
Thank you, Jenny. You got it completely right. Okay. You got it completely right. It's indeed, it's Haya, which means alive in Hebrew, and then Kalechman.
Lovely. That's a lovely.
Thank you.
And so tell us about your work.
I'm thrilled to be here. Well, I am a relationship expert, which means that I deal with people's, let's say, challenges in terms of creating and more importantly, sustaining and maintaining healthy, happy. I always say the 3 H's, obviously, because of my first name too. It's healthy, happy, and harmonious relationships. And that, for me, that encompasses everything.
Yeah. Now we know that when people decide to change their behaviour, whatever behaviour it is, but certainly when it comes to addictions and ditching the booze, one of the biggest factors are how we're going to deal with our relationships. Obviously, our social scene, how we're going to deal with friendships, but particularly our significant other, if we have one, or those people, closest to us. So I know that we can't cover everything in this kind of short session, but it would be great to hear your take on this. I'm sure you've come across it, in the work that you do. I mean, I suppose the first thing to say is that I know within, I think I'm right in saying that within AA, they would recommend don't actually get involved with anyone for about a year after you've become sober. Is that right?
It is right. That is what AA and all the 12 steps programs recommend. But they also recommend for therapists and for coaches not to work with anyone that is actually starting their recovery process. And I don't really agree with that.
No.
I'm kind of okay with don't get into anything too serious. And most importantly, don't get into anything that will make you feel unsafe and wobbly when you're starting de-boozing, de-drugging, whatever it is, kind of, when you take distance from this relationship. Because actually, the first relationship that I want to talk about is the relationship we have with ourselves.
Yeah.
That is our primary relationship. And when you take distance, when you decide to separate and hopefully in the most harmonious way from drinking, for example, you are breaking up from a very strong and very long-term relationship.
Yeah, sometimes the longest relationship you've ever had, actually.
Exactly.
Since you're a teenager.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So finding ways to actually re-befriend yourself and re-know it. You are becoming another person. So your relationship, first of all, your relationship with yourself is going to be completely different.
Yeah. But this is where it gets tricky, isn't it? Because I think most people kind of recognize once they're on this path, okay, I'm doing this for me. I've got to do this for me. But then, of course, you're still jostling alongside someone who perhaps has been your drinking buddy, for many years.
Absolutely.
Perhaps as partners, that's been the glue that stuck you together. And it can be a hell of a shock, for your partner if you stop drinking. And I think this knocks people for six.
Yes.
So
it always is.
So how do we handle this right at the beginning then? What are the kind of questions we can ask ourselves, or what are the kind of parameters or boundaries that we can put around ourselves to try and buffer some of this?
I'm not sure you can buffer, to be honest. I was going to tell you, Janie, honesty.
Yeah, no, please do.
No, that is the answer to your question is.
Oh, I see. Just be honest with the person.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be honest. And you have to take it step by step and be in the moment. So what I teach people working with me, whether it is about addiction or just rebuilding a relationship that has gone sour, is that you need to be in the moment and be able, and that's where I intervene, of course, be able to manage what is coming up at that very moment for yourself and, of course, for them too, except you're not responsible for them. You're only responsible for you and for your own process. Now, when you are living with someone that you love, that hopefully loves you, you want to support them too. And that's where we usually fall into the same old pit and the same old trap, is that they need to seek help too. You are the one stopping, but they are the one enmeshed in that relationship, which is making them completely insecure and completely perplexed. So your relationship with them changes, but their relationship with you changes too. So even though you are the one who brought the change and who is actually doing that big change, let's say, in your life, that big transition, or that radical breakthrough, they go through it too. And that is very important to know, that they are, even if they don't stop drinking, in a way, they are part of your process.
Yeah. I mean, there are people listening who will keep this secret at the beginning. They won't even tell their partner. Yes. And there are others who will, tell their partner and then be very disappointed that their partner doesn't come along with them and support them. And in some cases, they won't get support.
Absolutely.
I mean, I suppose there is no right way to do this, but what have you come across that might work? Have you got any tips that might work as to whether we come out or not?
So you're right. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but there is a safe way. First and foremost, you need to feel safe. And that is why some people don't tell their partner, because for some reason they feel, okay, I'm not strong enough for whatever reason, because I'm not sure it's going to work, because I don't know how they're going to welcome it, because I don't know what their reaction is going to be. So safety is first and foremost in everything, really, in all area of our lives, but especially in a relationship that is going to change so drastically and dramatically. So think about how and what makes you feel safe. If you don't want to speak about it for all the reasons and all the other reasons I have not named, that's absolutely fine. If you feel, look, this is so important for me that I do need to talk about it, and the hell about their reactions, that's okay too. It's really about finding what is right for you. That's why I can't give you one tip.
No, of course.
It always goes back to honesty, self-care. And when I say self-care, that is really feeling what is good for you. You can go to the spa and have your nails done too, which is wonderful. You can have a massage, you can have all the extra support. But at the end of the day, self-care is really okay. So I know this is important for me. What is make me feel at the best, given the fact that, of course, it's a difficult transition, obviously.
Yeah.
So that it's giving you the tools and giving yourself the permission, allowing yourself to go, okay, this is going to be the best time of my life. At some point, it's going to be difficult at the moment, but in that difficulty, how can I, first of all, support myself and be egotistical? I have coined a new word, which is egocentric.
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 Okay. Oh, as in authentic. Yeah, got it. Nice.
Egocentric. So it's really being authentic for yourself.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Well, you see, we talk a lot on the podcast about self-care, and I also talk a lot about the fact that I really believe that if you've made this decision to ditch the drink, then it has to be non-negotiable. You have to have made that commitment and that decision, and it comes first. Now, when it comes to relationships, of course, as you quite rightly say, the self-care might be that you go and have a massage or whatever, but it might be an act of self-care just to say, actually, no, I don't want to come out to the party or whatever it is that you're going to tonight. But how do we balance that, with with feeling selfish and feeling like, of course we want to support our partners. And as you say, it's us that's making the change, and it's us that has our non-negotiable thing. But how do you do that in a way that it just doesn't come across as being selfish?
You learn.
Yeah.
You learn to accept that it is non-negotiable, and that it really is a matter of life and death. It is. I mean, of course, it all depends where you are in your life, but when you wake up every night at 3:00 in the morning, and when you need that drink, something is not right, and you're not doing yourself. You're certainly doing yourself any favor, but you are in a self-destructive loop. So I dare to be very radical. It is a matter of life and death. So they're not happy you're not going to the function. They're not happy you're having tough luck.
Yeah.
It is about, again, that for me is self-care.
Yeah.
It's having the guts to go, yes, I may look and sound and feel selfish, and maybe I am for the first time in my life. Thank you very much, finally. So in this case, you're not, let me tell you, you are not being selfish. You are being you preserve yourself.
Looking after yourself.
You're looking after yourself. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
So if somebody, whether it is your internal dialogue or somebody externally telling you, you're so selfish, you could do something that, sorry, no. So you have to learn to live with the fact that you're doing something absolutely extraordinary for yourself, and that at some point it will also ripple on everybody, have ripple effects on everybody around you. That doesn't mean that they will want to come with you. And at that point, maybe that relationship will have to evolve into something different.
Well, yes. I mean, I was going to say, I think we can't sugarcoat this to the point that there will be relationships that break up. Let's just say that right now, because of this one thing. Relationships will break up. I mean, I've seen various groups and read about people who are, they're devastated, but they know they've got to stick with this decision, and their partner, for whatever reason, just can't accept that, doesn't want to be around someone who isn't drinking. I mean, kind of flying above from a great height, it looks ridiculous, doesn't it? That a relationship could break up over a bottle, but actually it does happen, doesn't it?
It's not ridiculous, because it is actually never about the bottle.
Absolutely.
It's never about the bottle. It's always about something else. You don't start drinking, even if we are in a culture where everybody drinks, but it's a crutch.
Yeah.
So I have it's a metaphor I often use. A crutch is very helpful when you need it. So you start drinking, for example, I was never much of a drinker, but I was a smoker for most of my life. And when I started smoking very young, I don't put any judgment on it, but I did it because I felt insecure. Yeah. So, having a fag and a strong one, it made me feel and look cool and everything. Yeah. So that was very helpful at the time. That crush was amazing at the time, until that crutch, and if you see it, if you visualize what I'm talking about, at some point when you don't need it anymore, a crutch becomes a hindrance.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do with that crutch? You hold it, you carry it. What do you do with it? And that is the point where you need to ditch the crutch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? That is when you decide, okay, that's pretty much what happened with me stopping smoking. It's like, okay, what do I do with this? It doesn't serve me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's not good for me. Okay, let's ditch it.
Yeah.
And of course, it's never that easy. It could be, but it's never that easy. But it's really that. There's a very good reason why you start drinking. There's a very good reason why your partner doesn't want, or your husband or wife or whoever it is, doesn't want to stop, because they still believe they need that crutch.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right, and I know there's masses more we could say about this, and I'll definitely have you back.
Right.
This is an area that people are really, really interested in, I know, and I think
in a nutshell, what we're saying is you have to protect yourself. You have to practice self-care. What about the other kind of side of the spectrum where people are single, and they're looking for a relationship, or they're in the in the dating scene again, or whatever. Again, that can throw up a whole load of issues as to do you tell the person before you go on a date, actually, what, I'm not drinking. You think you do?
Yes.
So give them a heads up. Yeah,
you do. You actually do before you meet them.
Right.
I had a client. She's a wonderful woman. That is exactly what she did.
Yeah.
There was someone she was interested in, and she had a hunch. It was the beginning. It was in her first months of sobriety, and she thought, okay, you know what? First of all, if he's a drinker, or if he's even a social drinker, it's not going to work anyways. And I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm not going to be comfortable. Maybe he's not going to be comfortable. So they had a date, and she called him up and she said, look, you know what? I don't want to drink. Would you be happy to go out with me on a date and not drink? And he said no. And she said, okay, well, then thank you very much for your honesty. We're not going to do that date. And she didn't. And she was so proud of herself.
But it can work.
Happy.
It can work, can't it? That one person drinks and one person doesn't. You must have seen that.
Yeah, it can work. It can work if there is enough respect and support from both sides, obviously.
Yeah.
And again, it's all a matter of knowing what you can deal with.
Yeah.
If you've just stopped, or at any point of your life, and you feel I cannot be around people that drink because it's too much. It's too difficult. It's going to make me sad. It's going to make me want to use for whatever reason, or I don't like the way people talk or behave when they're drinking. Whatever reason, again, you don't need to yourself at all.
Yeah,
it's your life. It's your decision. You calling you decide. You really that's something so important for me, especially for women. Us women need to learn that whatever we feel is right, and it's in the body, it's not in the mind. If you want to stop any kind of abuse in your head, it's going to be very difficult. It has to be an embodied process. So you've already felt you don't want to drink. Trust the rest. Trust your gut, trust your heart, trust your sex, I always say. Which is a very strong, very, very, very strong force.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking of sex. That will be another topic for another day. But I mean, just to touch on that briefly, again, the whole thing of sober sex is, I think most people don't see that coming. When you decide to ditch the booze, I don't think there are many people who kind of think ahead and go, oh, wow, okay, this might be the very first time I've ever had sex sober. What a thought. I mean, it's off the scale, isn't it? What would you say to people about that whole, I mean, I guess getting your head around the fact that this is going to be different would be a start.
Well, yes, it is going to be completely different. So again, honesty, self-care, patience, and information. And you're great to do that, because when people listen to you, they go, oh, okay, so actually there will be a difference. I need to know about that.
Yeah.
And then there are books, there are support groups, there are women's circles. Just get them as much information as you can, as much support as you can, because yes, it's going to be radically different. And at some point, it is going to be much better. That I can assure you. It can be absolutely extraordinary. Actually, you are going to have sex, and you are going to feel what it really means to be connected and to make love and to have sex. Basically, for the first time.
Yeah.
Because when you were drinking, you weren't. You were disconnected, mostly numb, and yes, having some kind of excitement about it. But for me, that is not having sex.
Yeah.
Not really. Not in my book. It's okay. It's fine. It's fun. But I've always thrived and hoped for something more. And that is what you will get, not only when you are sober, but when you start realizing that you can that there is more to sex than sex. That's always what I'm saying. There is so much more to sex than our traditional conception or experience most of the time of sex.
Absolutely.
So talk about it. Be good to yourself. If you find yourself in an amorous situation, and you feel, wow, I'm so raw. I feel everything. I'm afraid. I'm like a teenager. I'm 15 or 16. This is why I started to drink in the first place.
Yes, exactly.
Because I wanted to have sex, but it's so frightening. And it is. It is frightening. Of course it is, for men and women alike. Yeah. It's really frightening. Take a break. Wow, take a few breaths. Go, oh, okay, let's calm down here. Let's cuddle. Let's hold. Let's talk. Let's turn on the light. Let's put some music. Feel that emotion.
Yeah.
Really feel, okay, I feel like a virgin. And you, in a way, you are. You are a virgin of sober sex. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. For me, it's a second chance. Yeah. It's a second chance to rediscover what sexuality, sex, connection, love, intimacy. And I don't mean intimacy as sex. I mean intimacy of feelings.
Absolutely.
Really, truly is. Because really that is what we are scared of. True intimacy. So yes, that is going to come in your face when you're sober. It's like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah,
and
totally.
You're a child. So take it as it is. You are a child that needs to relearn how to live, how to breathe, how to eat, how to take care of herself, himself, how to be in a relationship, how to be sexual, how to be intimate.
Yeah. It's a topic we're definitely going to come back to. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
But just then, finally on relationships then, another big one that people come up against is their own family. They may have come from a family who they're all drinkers. It's what you do. You arrive at your parents' house or whatever, and the drinks come out. And sometimes that can be very, very difficult. You've got to stand up to your family, and everyone's making fun of you and making it difficult for you. Again, what kind of I guess the same principles apply, but what have you come across that might help people within their family relationships?
Well, again, it's the same principle, Janie. It is do what feels safe and comfortable for you. If at some point you have to miss those parties because it's too much for you, do that. You certainly don't want to add the stress of other people making fun of you and etc. when you are already going through a stressful period of your life. So if you need to pass. What you want is really finding a community of people that will support you. So a good thing to do is to prepare people, to tell people in advance before you go, look, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousins, this is what I'm going through. Please support me.
Yeah.
This is what I need from you.
Yeah.
If they can give it to you or not, that's another story. But at least, and that's very important in boundaries and consent work that I do a lot, is stating your needs. Because if you don't tell anybody what you actually need, surely you're not going to get it. That's for sure. So, and that is something that is very difficult for most of us, is to first identify what our needs and desires are, and then expressing them in the most simple way possible. I have stopped drinking. I need for you to simply accept that. It might be completely foreign to you. You might find this completely ridiculous, but for me, it's very important. So I want you, 1, to accept it. 2, not to make fun of me. 3, to make sure that the bottle is always away from me. 4, whatever. Yeah. Make a list and prepare any kind of meetings you will have with people that might not be supportive. And really, people, I do believe that people that are not supportive are not because they're mean, but they don't understand.
No.
They don't understand what you're going through or what you need.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
They feel threatened, obviously.
I think you're right. It's about being really definite. I think the problems arise when you're a bit woolly about it. So where people just say, "Oh, you want your usual," and if you go, "Oh, well, I was thinking I might not drink," immediately they're steaming in. Whereas if you've given a heads up, or if you're very, very clear, "I'm not drinking,"
yes.
You make that absolutely clear. I think it's really important, isn't it?
It is, and that said, it is not easy.
Absolutely.
So compassion. Give yourself some slack, and give yourself some pat on the shoulders. Look, I've done so well. Maybe I haven't been super communicative, or maybe that didn't work so well. Okay, well, I'll do better next time, or I'm doing my best. So another thing that is very important, again, yes, be very definite and very clear about it when you can, and as much as you can. If you can't, fine, give yourself some slack. But very, very important, do not ever expect anything from others. It is not their responsibility. It's not their life. It's not their choice. So it is your responsibility. That's why preparing, being clear, and setting strong boundaries, however difficult it is your responsibility exclusively.
Yeah.
When you stop drinking, what you are doing is taking responsibility for your own life. So it's the first step, and it is the most difficult. And then there are all the little ones, the little responsibilities, the little extra. And every time you take one, it's easier. So every time you understand that it is about you only, and you are the sole person responsible for your health, well-being, sobriety, calm, peace, etc. It becomes easier because okay, so it is not about not receiving support, not at all. It is not about not seeking help, because a lot of people go, "Oh, wait a minute, I can do it on my own, it's fine." No, it's not that. It's simply, I am responsible.
Yeah.
I take responsibility. That is my job. It's not their job.
Yeah. It's great to be reminded of that. Thank you so much for reminding us of that. It's something we should all know, but we all forget, because most of us spend our lives just worrying about how others will perceive us. That's kind of the thing we spend most time worrying about. That's usually what stops us from doing stuff. It's fear of what others will think. It's nearly always that, isn't it, that holds us back?
Of course it is. And that is the most difficult and sensitive element of having one partner stopping and the other one not, is how much is that going to impact their love for me?
Yes.
Are they still going to love me? Because, of course, I won't be the same person. I might not be, hey, all the time. I will need more time for myself. I will need more quiet. I will need some peace. I will be more introspective. And for many of us, it won't be the person they fell in love with. They fell in love with the party animal, full of energy, always, la. And then all of a sudden, it's another person. And maybe they will. And again, Janie, to be perfectly honest, maybe they will fall in love with the new person, but maybe they won't.
Yeah, totally.
And they one thing is for sure, is that not only their relationship with you, but their identity or their identification, the person they identify with, so their own persona, if you like, will be shaken. Will be completely, whoa, what is happening to me?
Yeah.
With this new person.
Yeah, totally.
And it is tricky.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, we can talk for hours.
Find support.
Totally.
My advice, my own real advice, is find the right support.
Yeah. So tell us about what the work that you do then, and how you work with people, Haya, your programs or the sessions that you offer.
Yeah, so I I work, as I think I mentioned it a little bit before, I work in a very embodied way. So what happens is that most of us live 80% of our life in 20% of our body, which is our head. Mm. So I teach people to come into the body, to use 100% of their resources, which give us, of course, much more to work with.
Yeah. So do you offer workshops, or how does it work?
I offer one-to-one with single people, with individuals. I work with couples. I work with families sometimes. And I offer physical workshops, so people come and work with me, and online courses.
Okay, amazing. Give us your website then, Haya, where we can find you.
It's my name. It's www.hayakalechman.com.
Great. We'll put that in the show notes as well.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Always Haya Kalechman.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's we'll have you back. There's no doubt about that. But a kind of whiz through is brilliant. And thank you so much for reminding us of some of these really important things. Thank you.
Absolutely welcome. Pleasure.
So we welcome Haya into the Sober Club as well. She's going to be a fantastic guest for us, and will be available to answer questions as well for members in the Sober Club. So if you haven't yet, the waiting list is thesoberclub.com. It is just a landing page, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, of course. And then we'll go live at the end of this week. By next Friday, who knows? We might even have opened up. And then the official launch, as I say, is Saturday the 7th. So really looking forward to meeting some of you in there, as it were, even though it is only online. And those of you who can get to our event, it'd be fantastic to see you there. We'll have an extra special gift, an actual physical gift that we'll give to anyone who signs up on Saturday the 7th. So thank you so much for watching the TED Talk. Those of you who've watched the TED Talk, if you haven't yet, please go and watch it and like it and share it and comment and all of that stuff on YouTube, preferably. And I look forward to bringing you a podcast next Friday. And of course, we'll be launching the Sober Club then. All the usual info, all the show notes are there, as always. My Instagram, if you haven't already checked in, at JanieLeeGrace. You can find Sober Dave, who's hosting the event, at SoberDave1. And what else do I need to tell you? Any feedback, anything you want to let me know, it's Janie at JanieLeeGrace.com. That'll probably change after we launch the Sober Club. We'll probably have a different email address, but for now it's Janie at JanieLeeGrace.com. If you've got any questions or anything that you any feedback that you want to give, it's been an amazing week for all of this stuff for me. So I feel really immersed in all of it, and I feel really hugely grateful that you guys are out there and you're so generous. That's the other thing I meant to say, actually, is the amount of people who are also doing stuff in this field who've shared the podcast. It's just so generous. There's such generosity amongst this kind of sober community, because you think, oh, well, if somebody else has got a podcast or they've got a group or a book out or something, maybe they won't share anything of anyone else's. But it really is not like that at all. I remember years ago, actually, I interviewed I forget who it was. There was a YouTuber, a famous YouTuber, on the BBC Radio 2 show that I'm part of. And we interviewed this YouTuber, and we were saying, she's really great friends with Zoella and all of these others. And we said to her, isn't there kind of competition between you guys? Some of you have got X million followers and others have not got quite so many millions, And she just said, all ships rise in high tide. I thought, wow, that's so completely true. So thank you to all the influencers and people who have got way more Instagram followers than I have. Thank you. Some of you have picked up on the TED Talk and shared it with your communities, and I'm really grateful for that. So this is one area where it doesn't matter what it is you do. We've all got the same goal, right? Because we all want to spread this message. It's a little bit of joy, and when you get that bit of joy, you want to share it. So see you all same time next week, and if you are new in this whole journey, you're welcome. Be part of this tribe. Don't do what I did at the beginning and hide it away and keep it secret. Come out, at least to those of us that know where you're at, and find your tribe. And we welcome you. Give yourself a big hug, and see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Alcohol Free Life podcast with Janey Lee Grace. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, rate us, share on social media, and tune in again.